I grew up on a small farm in Mouton Cove, Louisiana, and that's south of Abbeville, south of Lafayette, if you know anything about I-10. We knew nothing else besides work ethic and responsibility. And I'll never forget when my grandfather took me into Edie's restaurant in Lafayette. I was 16 years old in high school at Vermilion Catholic, and I remember seeing Brooke and Holly literally taking orders at a booth, and I thought, oh my gosh, I want to be just like that. Who are these girls?
So when I met Brittany, of course, we were working at Edie's restaurant, and she was hired to be a runner and support our staff and hostess. And it didn't take very long for her to move up the ladder and really put us in our place and become the boss of us.
I could tell her personality from the get-go. She was a firecracker. We brought Brittany on, and it was an amazing choice for all of us.
From that day forward, I started working at Edie's and learned what it meant to work with a family surrounded by faith, love, and a whole lot of fun. So I was a tomboy growing up on a farm, and my mom decided to challenge me with a new adventure, and that was to participate in the Cattle Festival pageant in Abbeville. I was getting ready to show my lamb in the Cattle Festival, show at the Cecil McCory building. I wasn't thinking about also putting on a dress and high heels and makeup and getting on a pageant stage, but my mom had other plans, and that's what led me to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for the first time as a volunteer with Beanies for St. Jude. And there I was, a 16-year-old with a crown on my head and a sash on my t-shirt, not expecting any of this to completely change the direction of my life. So it's my senior year at UL. I'll never forget the phone call when Billy Menard, found me at Edie's and said, I'm putting the old gang back together, and we have a goal to raise $10,000 for St. Jude this year. Will you help us? And I remember being like, I am in the middle of studying for the LSAT, working 2 jobs, but God just said, you need to do it. And I said, okay, I'm in. Before you know it, I'm sitting on the steps of the UL library. I'm writing out a budget to raise $10,000.
When Brittany asked us to help her fundraise, we were sitting on the beach, a group of girls who ended up being the founders of Skyhigh. Brittany had already well planned, and I think she surprised herself by how quickly it grew and the participation that, she was expecting. And she looked at us and said, I need y'all's help.
But I got to tell all of the girls that were on this trip, and Jill Prudhomme, who's one of our founding board members, literally stops and says, you gotta be kidding me. You're putting on a fundraiser for St. Jude? And I was like, yeah, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And she was like, my nephew, Bryce Norwood, who's 5 years old, is there right now fighting Wilms tumor. And I will never forget, it was like you could have heard a pin drop. Everybody got real quiet, and then it happened.
It goes to show you that from the get-go, we were determined, we were motivated, and we were right there at her side.
So this was like our first flyer. It was, look at this flyer, but I thought it was genius. The first clay shoot was honestly supposed to be a one-time thing. We were able to donate $50,000 to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. On that trip, we were able to meet Bryce. Later on that day, his dad, Dean, told us that they didn't have a lot of time left. And he shared that his dream was to take Bryce and the whole family on a white-tailed deer hunt. We spent the next 5 days really giving this family a weekend that they could cherish for the rest of their lives, because soon after, unfortunately, Bryce earned his angel wings, and that's truly what changed the entire direction of Skyhigh, and that's such a huge part of the legacy. It's his legacy, and that's what launched Skyhigh for Kids formally. Pediatric cancer is something that no child should ever have to go through. Skyhigh is the organization that is there for them. Layla, you are so pretty.
Brittany's enthusiasm for Skyhigh is contagious. I feel like we built this building, and all of our bricks represent volunteers, donors, sponsors, friends, and family that joined our organization.
If I had to describe the last 14 years of Skyhigh in one word, it would be successful.
The first thing that comes to mind is growth. This is all for one and one for all, and I think it is going to be a huge part of our legacy because Skyhigh is not just helping American citizens, we're helping everyone, and the sky reaches all across the globe.
The Global Hope program of Texas Children's Hospital is dealing with the horrific statistics in sub-Saharan Africa that relate to children with cancer. We're actually training African pediatricians in how to take care of a child with cancer. A real stimulus and reason for the success is because of the partnership that we've developed with Skyhigh.
Since the first day God planted the seed, when I walked through the doors of the Ronald McDonald House, to the first sporting clay tournament, to the second region, to signing $40 million in commitments, to literally move the survival rate needle forward for these kids, I don't know what to say, to be honest. I mean, it is surreal. But from day one, we said that we would never give up. We said if we're gonna do it, we're gonna go big or we're gonna go home. And our name fits perfectly. Sky is the limit. So $40 million is just the beginning.
What did you think of Brittany when she first walked in?
What did you think of Brittany when she first walked in? It's the same. There's a wow factor. Oh yeah, definitely. What was the first name?